Huh, not bad.
Did somebody say cheese? Cheese! Say kabam, say look out, say look at me go. It's always just your size. Don't ask why. Me, oh, might be brave or shy. Make goo-goo eyes. Maybe you could even win a sweet prize. Everybody say cheese, it's funner. Everybody say cheese, it's funner. Say cheese, it's funner. And Chuck E. Cheese's. What are you waiting for? Let's play. Where a kid can be a kid.
Hey guys, Sonic Noah Cole here, and today we are covering the history of the Chuck E. Cheese's and Showbiz Pizza in Indiana. Well, except Indianapolis, because Nathan Spies already did it. But why I wanted to do all the locations, it's because there are some locations that I have been to. So let's go over all of the 14 locations. Yes, there were 14 locations. To one location that closed in 2020, to 3 locations that have been closed in the Showbiz era, to 5 locations that have been remodeled, to 4 locations that have not been remodeled. Alright guys, this is gonna be so long, and we are not counting the Indianapolis locations. Now let's get started. This is the history of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza in Indiana. Before we go over the history of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza in Indiana, let's talk about the history of Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza Place. The first Pizza Time Theater opened on May 17th, 1977 in San Jose, California. It was founded by Nolan Bushnell. He's also the co-founder of the video game company Atari. He wanted to make a business where families could play the latest arcade games. The first Showbiz Pizza Place opened on March 3rd, 1980 in Kansas City, Missouri, and it became successful. It was founded by Robert Brock. He was a former Chuck E. Cheese franchisee, but he wanted to make his own better arcade pizza place with more advanced animatronics, so he teamed up with Aaron Fector to create the Fire Explosion Band. Now we got the history of Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza Place out of the way. Now we could start talking about the history of Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza in Indiana.
Hi folks, you look like you could use a night out. Introducing new deep pan pizza at Showbiz. Now you can get any large deep pan or regular style pizza, a pitcher of soft drink, free tokens, and all the fun of Showbiz Pizza Place for just $9.95. Great deal, huh? The Showbiz $9.95 night out. Any large pizza, a pitcher of soft drink, and free tokens for games and rides. Hey there, you look like you could use a night out.
Okay guys, before we cover the history of all the locations, we are grouping all the Showbiz Pizzas in one chapter. All of the locations are pretty much the same, and it will get annoying of me saying the same thing. And I will do the same thing Nathan Spies did. The first location we are going to talk about is Fort Wayne. It opened on May 19th, 1982, and it was the third Showbiz Pizza Place in Indiana. Fun fact about the location, it was originally and currently a corporate-owned store. The location also had a typical Showbiz Pizza layout. The location had a ball pit, a jungle gym, and skee ball and games that were popular. The location also had a salad bar, and it's the same as other Showbiz locations. The location would receive the 1988 remodel in 1989 through 1990, removing older Showbiz Pizza decor for newer decor, and the exterior changed. Unfortunately, there is very little documentation exists back when it was a Showbiz. Like many Showbiz locations in the late 1980s, the location would receive the Showbiz Pizza Campground upgrade. And that's all I have for the Fort Wayne location. Let's go on to the next location. The next location to open is Mishawaka. It opened on September 22nd, 1982 as a part of an expansion of a shopping center. Unfortunately, there is not much info on this location as a Showbiz pizza. This location had the classic Mishawaka Fire explosion band and had the same things Fort Wayne did. In 1988 or 1989, the location had received the 1988 remodel, removing old Showbiz pizza decor for newer decor and changed to the Billy Bob stage. And that's all I have for the Mishawaka location. Let's go on to the next location. The next location is Evansville. It opened on December 21st, 1982 as the 8th Showbiz pizza in Indiana. The location was also a corporate store. The location originally had the Mishawaka Fire explosion band as normal locations had, and that's all for the Evansville location. I know that was short, but let's go on to the next locations. But I don't know when these 3 locations opened, but they opened somewhere around the early 80s. The only things I know about the 3 locations is what city they were and what date they closed. So I am not going in order, I'm just picking it from random. So the next location opened on the east side of Logansport Mall. But I have been to the Logansport Mall in 2020, and the next one opened in West Lafayette, but I don't know where in West Lafayette, Indiana. Then the next one opened in Anderson, but on September 24th, 1985, the Logansport, West Lafayette, and Anderson locations closed. But now let's go over the Chuck E. Cheese part of the locations.
Appearing tonight on 3 stages at Showbiz Pizza Place, the Mishawaka Fire Explosion. Summer vacation is real swell.
And starring the greatest fresh baked pizza made to order.
Over 60 new games and rides.
We have it all.
In the early 90s, locations were good in business, but it was going bad for Showbiz Pizza because the company was trying to get the rights to the band, but Aaron Fechter did not want to give the rights to the band. But they had no choice to do something that will ruin a Showbiz fan concept unification. For people who don't know what concept unification is, the company disassembles the animatronics except their mechs, then replaces it with the Chuck E. Cheese characters, formerly known as Munch's Make-Believe Band. Rolf and Earl were replaced with Chuck E. Cheese. Mitzi Mozzarella was replaced with Helen Henny. Fats Geronimo was replaced with Mr. Munch. Beach Bear was replaced with Jasper T. Jowls. Duke LaRue was replaced with Pasquale. Looney Bird was replaced with Pizza Cam. The sun became the building, but the moon stayed behind. Choo Choo the Bear Cub became Munch Jr. And Auntie Ock became the Wink. But Fort Wayne got concept unification around 1991 or 1992, and they had the concept unification seats and posters. And plus the rename from Showbiz Pizza into Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza. In the mid-1990s, the location received the Phase 1 remodel, which they removed some of the early 90s decor for newer decor, and had a new exterior. In 2000, Fort Wayne would receive the Phase 2 remodel, removing the 3-stage and replacing it with the common stage at the time, the Studio C Alpha stage. But since it was now a Studio C, it added the colored chase lights. They removed the older posters for the record posters. They added the checkers, then replaced the ball pit and jungle gym with sky tubes. The location would remain like this until sometime in 2006 or 2007 when they would get the 2005 remodel, which is the Phase 4 remodel. removing the showroom walls, balcony seating, and the exterior was repainted. I don't think there was incidents that involved the Fort Wayne location. The Fort Wayne location would stay like that when something that CEC fans hate would be coming. In October 2022, the Chuck E. Cheese in Fort Wayne got the 2.0 remodel. If you don't know what the 2.0 remodel is, it's a process where they get rid of the animatronics, which is the bad part, for a dance floor. Like, why? But anyways, where the animatronics were, like, behind the animatronic stage, there would just be a wall. Like, there would be a wall added and then just, like, probably just, like, painted over. And they had this plastic thing where they just put it on the wall on just, like, a color and then just put the Chuck E. Cheese character on it. But, yeah. So, Fort Wayne got 2.0, and I did not know about it. But, yeah, that's all for the Fort Wayne location. 4 checked off, 10 more to go.
Fun is made for sharing, share the fun at Showbiz Pizza Place. We've got family fun at Showbiz, Dayton fun at Showbiz, everyone fun at Showbiz, Showbiz Pizza Place. We've got eating fun at Showbiz, racing fun at Showbiz, Showbiz fun at Showbiz, Showbiz Pizza Place. Share the fun, come on and share the fun at Showbiz Pizza Place.
If you're taking the kids...
The next location is Mishawaka. They got concept unification around 1991. It added the new decor and the exterior changed. In the mid-1990s, the location would receive either Phase 1 or Phase 2. It added lots of 1990s decor like the record posters and colored chase lights, and for the animatronics, they got their latex masks removed for the plastic ones, and Munch Jr. was removed on a unknown date. Plus, I forgot to talk about it in the Fort Wayne location, but they did get rid of Munch Jr. In the late 90s, the location would receive the Phase 3 remodel, which got a new exterior, and the building was expanded for more room and games. Most of the 90s decor was removed for 2000s decor. The ball pit and jungle gym was replaced with sky tubes. In 2006, the old Chuck E. Cheese in Joliet, Illinois closed forever. They had a 3-stage, so they decided to switch the old Mishawaka animatronics with the Joliet animatronics. The location would stay like this until June 2007. It would undergo the 2005 remodel, which was the Phase 4 remodel, which received a new exterior and the removal of the early 2000s posters, and added the 2005 posters, like those really scary feelings posters of those kids. Like, why did CEC create those posters? There are only 2 incidents that happened at the location, so there's one major incident, and actually there's 2 major incidents. So let's talk about the first incident. On Saturday, July 11th, 2015, a man of the name of Smith, he was 26 years old, and he was at the Chuck E. Cheese, and he was taking pictures of the kids, and the parents noticed the man was taking pictures, and according to the court documents, the parents complained to the manager and wanted the guy to stop. The manager called Mishawaka police. When the police showed up, they told Smith to step outside, but when Smith stepped outside, he started running into traffic. The cops told him to stop, but he didn't, so a cop got to him and tased him, but he wasn't down, so the cop tackled him. Then Smith smashed his phone on the ground repeatedly. Smith was put in a cop car, then Smith kicked the cop in the face, and Smith tried to escape the cop car but failed. Then he jumped out of the back window. During the incident, 2 cops were taken to the hospital, but the cops got the Smith guy, and it turns out he has so many records. During court, a spokeswoman with the CEC restaurant said Smith was taking pictures of women without their knowledge, and a manager called police and was escorted out of the building. Wow, that's one of the biggest CEC incidents in history that ever happened. The link to the article is in the description. The next incident happened in mid-2018, and it had to do with fire. The location stage caught on fire. Firefighters were called to the scene and put the fire out. When firefighters put out the fire, almost the whole entire bots were destroyed. But the cause of the fire was the Pasquale stage. It was because it was something jammed and then just catched on fire. I don't know how it works, but there's actually a collector that owns these bots, and his name is William Afton Robotics. So he has the Chucky bot, and he's just putting it as a decoration. He's not doing any shows with it. Robot Chicken actually saw the incident on it just somewhere. They just saw it somewhere. And decided to make an episode of the stage being caught on fire. And caught on fire by the same stage. But for some reason, Jasper wasn't in it. I wonder why. They had to close to repair the stuff, but it was already gone. They had no choice to, dun dun dun, they had to get the 2.0 remodel. They underwent the remodel in July 2019, and they did not put the pictures of the Chuck E. Cheese characters in the 3-stage order. Bruh, they had a 3-stage, and they don't put them in the 3-stage order. Shame on you, Chuck E. Cheese in Mishawaka. And the Chuck E. Cheese in Mishawaka store is still the same to this day. And now 5 locations checked off, 9 more to go.
Where can a kid around?
Billy!
Where can he act like a clown?
Billy!
Oh, what a face! There's just one place for a silly Billy like you. Come to Chuck E. Cheese, you can turn it loose. Make him laugh, have some fun, be a silly goose. You're a kid, shout it out. That's what we're all about. Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid.
The next location is Evansville. Evansville got concept unification in 1991 or 1992, which once again removed old Showbiz pizza decor for newer decor, and they added blue and white awnings and checkers. In the mid-1990s, the location received a minor remodel, which it was the Phase 1 remodel. It removed the old concept unification decor for the record posters and colored chase lights. And also, the building was renamed from Showbiz Pizza into Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza. And plus, I forgot to say that in the Mishawaka chapter. Around the late 90s, the location would receive the Phase 2 remodel, which removed the old decor for new decor and removed the blue and white awnings and checkers, and replacing the ball pit and jungle gym with sky tubes, and the toddler zone was added. And for the changes for the animatronics, Munch Jr. was removed, and all of the characters got their latex mask removed for the plastic ones. Evansville received the 2005 remodel in 2006 through 2007, which removes old decor for those creepy Feelings posters with the kids on them, And the biggest change ever is they got rid of the 3-stage for a small town Studio C. It looks like the Studio C Kappa, but it has a different name. And the showroom walls were destroyed, and balcony seating were removed, and they relocated the stage, and they removed the toddler zone, and relocating some games, and they relocated the kitchen and sky tubes. There's only one incident, but it's not really a big incident, so I'm not really going to explain it, but I'm gonna put the link to the website in the description. The location stayed like this till April 2022, when they had to get 2.0, when nothing was wrong with the animatronic, even nothing was wrong with Fort Wayne's animatronic. But they removed the small town Studio C stage with the dance floor, but today the location is still the same to this day. And that's all for the Evansville location. Let's go to the next location. But the next location, I actually made a video on.
Fancy restaurants versus Chuck E. Cheese's. There, nothing goes right.
Oops.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
I should have said Chuck E. Cheese, please.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese's, the restaurant where a kid can be a kid.
The next location to open is Hobart, but people call it Maryville, so I'll just call it Maryville. Fun fact for Nathan Spees, the Maryville location actually opened the same day as the Chuck E. Cheese on 2030 South Hurst Broom Parkway in Louisville. But the location opened on January 2nd, 2000, and it was a Phase 3, and it had the most common stage at the time, the Studio C Alpha, and they had the colored chase lights. The location had the record posters, and it had Phase 3 decor, and I think they had some of those Chucky Warhol posters, but they also had sky tubes, and I think the left and right wall had random stuff on the shelf, but the building had Phase 4 seats, but it's just, I don't really remember it being a Phase 3 because I was born in 2013 and I don't remember it having record posters or any Phase 3 decor. But they had all those random props on the wall, like the baseball bat and the baseball. But yeah, that's all it was. I mean, that's all for it. On October 2011, the location would receive the Phase 4 remodel, which removes the Phase 3 decor with, once again, the record posters were replaced with those Feelings posters with the scary kids on it. For some reason, they got rid of the awning that was above those 5 windows, and they actually used the same shape for the parking Chuck E. Cheese logo. They just put Avenger Chuck on it. The first incident that happened is really major, and the second incident, well, I don't really know. The first incident happened in 2018 when 11 cars were involved in a crash in the parking lot. It was so bad that tires flew through the window, hurting 3 kids. The location closed for a little bit, but I tried to look this up on YouTube, but there was no YouTube video about it. The next incident happened almost 8 months ago. On the morning of December 20th, 2022, a pickup truck slams into the right side of the building. The guy in the pickup truck needed medical help, but the building was closed, so no one was hurt. As of the recording of this audio, I looked on Google Earth Street Views, and I went in front of the Chuck E. Cheese in Maryville to take a picture of it for the pictures, but for some reason, one of the windows are boarded up, and there's nothing like no news story about it. It's just boarded up. I think somebody shot it or it was broken. When the location opened, they actually had the Cool Chuck photo ride, but then they turned it into Rockstar Chuck, and I actually have photos of me and Aaron on it. Look at the first picture, that's me. I couldn't fit in there, and there's Aaron, and that was back before 2.0. Oh wait, 2.0? Let's explain that. In April or May or June, the location got 2.0 for no reason. The bot was working and it was still in good condition. It was not destroyed. Nothing happened. But they just... on that same year, Studio C stopped programming. I guess they were seeing that coming. I actually went there... like months after the crash, but it was good, and it was the second time going there as a 2.0. Yes, guys, I'm sorry I did not record. I don't think I had my phone, but yeah, that's all for the Maryville location. Let's go on to the next location.
Hey, Mom, what's cool? What's cool? Chuck E. Cheese's. The real cool place to be a kid, Mom. You can just ask them.
Okay, guys, I don't know what order these locations were in, so I'm picking it random, but I do know these locations opened in 2004, so try to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The next location to open is Clarksville. No, not the one in Tennessee, it's the one in Indiana, but it opened around 2004. The location was a Phase 3 at first and had the common stage at the time, the Studio C beta. The location had a lot of Phase 3 posters. They had SkyTubes, but they even had the must-see TV parody posters, and they even had those magazine posters, and they're still there to this day. There were no incidents that I can find of, but that's all for the Clarksville, Indiana location. But that was short. But let's go on to the next location.
It's Chuck E. Cheese's fundraising nights, where 10% of your group sales are donated to your elementary school. Just ask your parents to call this number or log on to chuckyschool.com for complete details. Chuck E. Cheese's fundraising nights. Help your school!
The next location to open is the Chuck E. Cheese in Muncie. It opened in 2004, and once again, it was a Phase 3. And plus... this is the only chapter that has less information. Like, I could barely find anything. Like, they didn't list this in Chuckypedia, but we're just gonna go with it. But the location had a Studio C Kappa, and they had a lot of Phase 4 decor, and they had SkyTubes. The location also had no incidents, so I think we're done with the Muncie location. And plus, I know that was short, but let's go on into the next location. And plus, this is the shortest chapter, so I take back the Clarksville.
Know what you can do with your report card at Chuck E. Cheese's? Turn it into free tokens. Free tokens for your grades with any food purchase, courtesy of me.
Nice grades.
Nice grades.
The next location to open is Kokomo, and there is barely information about this location, but it opened on April 6th, 2004, and it opened across from the Kokomo Town Shopping Center. They had a 1993 remodel from the start, which was a Phase 3. The location had a small town Studio C, and it was also one of the 4 small town Studio C stages in Indiana. The location was one of only 3 1993 remodel locations in Indiana, all opening in 2004. The location had no posters of the scary kids. They only had the Chucky Warhol paintings, sky tubes, and they had planters and had Phase 3 and Phase 4 posters. But for some reason, they got rid of the planters and the action things. When they say action, then close it. But they got rid of sky tubes. This is just funny because I just looked up the Chuck E. Cheese in Kokomo, and there was actually a tornado there. No, the tornado's not funny. Don't laugh at tornadoes. Tornadoes aren't funny. But there was this picture that I saw of the location, and there was a table on the wall on the right side of the building. Like, it's just funny. It's from Panera's Bread. I think that's where it's from. I think it said that, but you can see there's a table on the wall. There's only one incident, but I'm too lazy to talk about it, so I'm just gonna put it in the link in the description. The location is still the same to this day, but that's all for the Kokomo location. Let's go on to the next location, and I actually made a lot of videos on the next location.
Chuck E. Cheese's, where a kid can be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid.
The next location to open is my local location. It's the Chuck E. Cheese in Lafayette. No, not Lafayette, Louisiana, Lafayette, Indiana. This location opened in 2006. I don't know what day and what month, but I do know what the year it opened, and I do know it opened in the Lafayette Pavilion. And it opened with the shopping center. And now I am done with Phase 3, and now let's move on to Phase 4. So the building is a Phase 4, and according to RabbitTail57, his channel will be in the link in the description, but according to him, the location had a lot of older games and had sky tubes, and also the stage was a Studio C Kappa Beta mix. So the part where Chucky's standing, it has a beta backdrop, and the TV part, it's a Kappa part. And those creepy kids poster with the feelings on them, they were only 2, but they did have three, but they took one down. But when it opened, the animatronic had the cool Chuck outfit, but then switched to Avenger Chuck. Around 2017, they got rid of sky tubes, and on the wall where sky tubes were, they put a Avenger Chuck poster. But I think CEC didn't want people to think that they were going to turn into a Phase 5 store. As of recording this, I just realized that they moved that poster because I just looked at some Google Maps photos, and I saw that it was in the place where you get the tokens. So, and then they just moved it. So, sorry for spreading misinformation. On October 2nd, 2020, that would be the last day I would see Chuck E. Cheese in Lafayette because something bad was about to happen. On October 28th, 2020, after 14 years of operation, the Chuck E. Cheese in Lafayette, Indiana, permanently closed. After I heard that news, I was devastated. The Chuck E. Cheese that I'd known and loved for years was now gone. I have thought of 3 reasons why it closed this year. 1, because their lease expired for the Lafayette Pavilion. 2, there wasn't that many customers. 3, they were actually planning to remodel, but they didn't have enough money to remodel the building, so they had to close. But I couldn't find any incidents, and this building is still closed to this day. Rest in peace, Chuck E. Cheese in Lafayette, Indiana. But let's go on to the next location. The next location is Avon. It opened around the mid-2000s, and it was a Phase 4 at the time. The location had a Studio C beta and those creepy kids feeling posters. They had Phase 4 decor and sky tubes. There wasn't really any incident, just only one thing happened in front of the Chuck E. Cheese, and it wasn't really a big incident, but let's get back to the history. They removed sky tubes, but on June or July 2021, Avon would undergo the 2.0 remodel, and I don't know why they had to remodel, because nothing was damaged, like no floods, no fires, just nothing. The location had the 2021 version of 2.0. The location is still the same to this day, and that's all for the history of the Avon location. And let's go on to the next location.
Follow me to fun. Follow me to fun. Everyone's invited. Just thinking about it gets me all excited. Pick your partner, pick your game. Every token plays one game. Making friends, acting silly, flat out going Chuck E. Cheesy. Follow me to fun. Follow me to fun. Follow me to fun. Chuck E. Cheese's, where a kid can't be a kid.
The next and final location to open is Columbus, Indiana. It opened somewhere around the mid-2000s. It was a Phase 4, and they had the small town Studio C stage. They had Phase 4 decor, and for the last time, those creepy kids' feelings posters. They also had sky tubes. Somewhere around 2018, 2017, and 2016, they updated to a Phase 5, but they still had Phase 4 posters, and they had the wooden Cool Chuck logo. But I don't think they have it anymore, but that's cool for a Phase 5 location. There's only one incident for the Columbus location, so here's the incident. On July 28th, 2022, at about 11:45, a car crashed into the front of the building, but nothing was destroyed except the car. The front of the car was destroyed, but the driver wasn't hurt, and I think that's all for the incidents. But I've noticed that I looked at the picture, and I looked at the wall, and it was diagonal, so I think the wall, like the front, was destroyed a little bit. But that's all for the Columbus location. And plus, that's all for the history video. All we just need to do is just tell the addresses, and then we're done.
Feel that? It's that next level, all-you-can-play games. Ticket Blaster Master and prizes after. Have your cake and pizza too? Best birthday ever feeling. Only at Chuck E. Cheese.
I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to subscribe it. And I worked so hard on this, so you guys have to like it, because it just took effort to make this video. and I had to spend time on my iPad so much to make this video. But here are the addresses of these locations if you want to visit them. Fort Wayne's address is 711 Coliseum Boulevard West, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46808. Mishawaka's address is 822 West McKinley Avenue, Mishawaka, Indiana 46545, located in Town and Country Shopping Center. Evansville's address is 559 North Green River Road, Evansville, Indiana 47715. Clarksville's address is 1100 N-131 Clarksville, Indiana 47129, located in Clarksville Commons. Muncie's address is 1611 West McGillard Road, Muncie, Indiana 47302. Kokomo's address is 1919 South Reed Road, Kokomo, Indiana 46902, located in Kokomo Town Center. Avon's address is 9931 East US Highway 361, Avon, Indiana 46123. Columbus's address is 1455 North National Road, Columbus, Indiana 47201. If you ever want to visit the former locations, then the Showbiz Pizza and Logan Sport newspaper will be in the description. And I don't know about West Lafayette and Anderson's, so we're going to skip that. Lafayette, Indiana's address is 100 South Creasy Lane, 100 Lafayette, Indiana 47905. And that's all for the addresses. And that's all for the history of the Chuck E. Cheese's and Showbiz Pizza in Indiana. And yeah, guys, Sonic Noah Cool, signing out. Bye.
Life is a lot easier when you're smiling.